Today I'm going to show you a demo of OneTimePIM and explain some of our features. For this, we're going to use the OneTimePIM demo account, which contains just a few sample products. So let's start with the configuration. This is where you actually build the PIM. So the first step in building the PIM would be to look at your data and create a list of attributes that will cover all your products. This can range from, in this example, 82 attributes to 300 or 400, depending on how complex your products are. So what are attributes? Well, say you gave us data in Excel, attributes basically correspond with the columns of your spreadsheet. You can see here they might say description, long description, website description, there's also text area, and select leads to a drop-down list of options that you pick. If it's clothing brand, then you pick one of these clothing brands. And this keeps the data nice and clean because the user can only pick from the values that they've chosen for the attributes. So once we've defined your attributes, we then group these attributes into what we call families. So for the cameras family, I'll toggle the attributes that apply to cameras. So camera brand applies, whereas kettle brand and TV brand doesn't. And now the PIM knows that if I bring a camera into the PIM, it's only got to fill in the information that's toggled here. So description, camera brand, dimensions, and so on. So that's the second step. So the first was to create the attributes, and the second was to group those into families. And once you've got that basic structure in the PIM, you can import all your products, and the PIM knows which attributes need to be filled in for each product. We can also create categories for the products, which just makes it easier to browse them. So in this example, we've got 2 levels of categories and subcategories, but you can create as many levels as you like. So families and categories are very different in that the family represents the grouping of attributes, so only these attributes are available in that family. So when I look at a t-shirt, I'm never going to see dimensions. So families have total control over attributes. However, categories don't have any control over attributes. Categories are much looser. You can create any categories you want and put products in multiple categories as well. So for example, so if I go on this t-shirt, it shows me the category that it belongs to, which is t-shirts. But I could also add it to books if I wanted, but I can remove it as well. So if you've got accessories that are relevant to lots of products, they can appear in many categories. So there are 3 types of products within OneTimePIM: simple, configurable, and variant. So simple products are standalone products. Configurable products are the kind of parent products which might have multiple different options, and these options are called variants. So let's take this example of t-shirts. This is one t-shirt that appears in multiple colours. So for example, there might be multiple types of t-shirt in colours and sizes, but some of the attributes are exactly the same. So you make the t-shirt a configurable product with variant options, and these are managed by a rule set, where you choose some attributes to be the same for all products, so you only need to enter them once on the configurable, and then they get inherited by all the variants. So you can see here that these attributes are locked, which means that they're going to be the same for all of the variants, because the long description and the clothing brand is the same. And then if we see here, colour is unlocked, so all the variants might have different colours, whereas material and neck shape and some of the other attributes are locked. So if we go into grid view, you can see that some of the attributes are greyed out. So the ones that are grey are basically the locked ones, the ones that are the same for all the variants. And so the ones that don't change, whereas these ones are the ones that can change. The greyed out ones get the value from the parent product automatically. So this reduces the amount of errors you have in the data because you only have to type the data in once on the configurable, and all of this will be filled in. So you don't have to do it for each individual product. This can work with images as well, and that's how rule sets work. And this is compatible with the Shopify configurables and the Magento configurables. So this kind of system is evident in these e-commerce sites as well. They work slightly differently to ours. They don't have the inheritance bit, but they do have the idea of having variants. So we also have a feature called computed attributes. So for example, here we've got sales price, and this is a computed attribute because the value is calculated through the cost price times 1.6. So you can also have an attribute that concatenates other attributes. For example, we've got one here for dimensions. So you might store them in the PIM as length, width, height, but you might want to display them as length times width times height with crosses in between. So you just create a computed attribute which pulls in length, width, height and displays them the way you want to here. But individually they're stored as length, width, height attributes because that's easier for the PIM. So you can do lots of flexible things with formulas. You can use them for things like this, or you can put in if length is less than, then to put them in small keyboards or large keyboards, for example, or for generating URLs, the data sheets, or putting together different prices, things like that. So computed attributes is a really powerful and flexible tool. You can also create as many relations as you like. So I've got one here called bundle or people also bought. You can have substitutes or complementary products. And you can start searching and typing in part numbers and add them to the list. So say shorts or a complementary product to t-shirts. And that builds up the list of related products. So you can make use of that in the e-commerce site or when exporting products. And this is just purely customizable to your needs. The principle is always the same. Once you've got a relation, you add products and it associates those products, basically. So that whatever relations you want to create, you can do that. So you've also got tags. You can create different tags to filter products out quickly. If you want certain people to work on certain products so they can find them quickly, you can create an unlimited number of tags and then combine them. Yeah, so you can create the tags here, and they're really useful for if you want to be able to find things quickly, and choose how the tag appears for each one of your channels as well. So this is all done through this configuration area. You also create the relations here. This is really easy. Just click relation, give it a label. So you can just add whatever relation you want. Use how it appears for each channel and then just create it. So it's very simple. So once you've created it, it just pops up on any product and you can start using it. So in this area of the configuration, you can create new relations and new tags. You can also create attribute sets, and these are groups of attributes that you want to make use of. So if I want to create a set of attributes I want for filtering, so for example, say you just want all the technical details to be grouped together so that the technical department can access them easily, then you could just create a set of attributes that are relevant for the technical department and group them all together. So say it was just kind of dimensions or sizes. So for this, you just create a set, give it a name, and then just choose which attributes you want to group together because you've got them all here and you can put them in or out. This means that when you go to your filtering, so say you want to filter logistics and then who's associated with logistics will appear here. So that makes it easier than seeing kind of hundreds of attributes. So when you have the products in the PIM, you can click each product individually and look at the information for it. So if I'm editing one product at a time, I could just click the product, go on details, and all of the information is here for me to edit. Now there are also some tools here to help me with this. So I can filter out the areas that are blank, and see what hasn't been filled yet. Or I can just select the ones that have been populated and check through the things that I have filled in. You can also set up which attributes are essential for a product to be complete. So in the family area, you can specify whether the attributes are required in the completion. So you tick this box, which means that they have to be filled in, and if they're not filled in, then the completion won't be 100%. So this at the moment is 100% complete. So here it shows only which attributes are included in the completion. So these are basically the attributes that have to be complete for the product to be ready. If one of these was left blank, then you can see it goes down to 92%. So say this one, which has quite a lower completion, you can just filter out what needs to be filled in by only showing the attributes included in completion. So you can see here that there's some missing for dimensions. So that's why it's only on 87% complete. You also have the option to only allow products to be published when they're at 100% completion. And this filter at the top can help you either show only the incomplete products or only the 100% complete products if you want to only publish them, or show products with a maximum completion of a certain percentage, so show products up to 80% complete. This is a really useful filtering tool to see all the necessary information has been filled in. So when looking at products individually, you can also see all the media that's associated with them, including images. So this will be customized for you. We can add as many image slots as you like, so you see there's space for more images here. And you can add slots for other media such as PDF documents, brochures, videos, or anything else that's needed for your products. So this media will be stored inside the PIM. You can also attach videos as links if they're on a YouTube channel, for instance. So they can just be normal attributes like this, and you can just put in a URL. And any changes you make to a product will be recorded, so you can just look on activity log to see who's done what and when they made the changes. So this is really useful if you want to know which person to contact if they've changed something, and it also shows you all the timings. You can also change which category you want the product to be in. So if you want it to be in more than one category, just select. So we can put this t-shirt in both t-shirts and shorts. And remove that. So that's how to edit products one at a time. If you want to do some bulk editing, you can just go onto grid view. This is a kind of Excel style spreadsheet view where you can see all of the data like this. And if you've got kind of lots of data, you might have a lot of columns here, which is a bit difficult to navigate. So you can just decide which attributes you want to see at a time. So if it's logistics, it will just show you a few columns here. Yeah, if you go back to default, then that will show you all of the attributes. So it keeps going and going. From grid view, you could copy and paste directly to Excel. And from any view you're looking at, you can also download to Excel. So the two are compatible. So you've got three views. We've seen list view, this is grid view, and the third is gallery view, which is here. So gallery view shows you all the media. So you can just select a family and it will show you all of the associated media. And this view is really useful for kind of editing images. You might want to kind of copy and paste between cells, and you can just backspace to remove it. So it's really easy to just modify your images here. If you want to add new images, you can just click the icon and it shows you the images that are all stored in the PIM. You can just add the new image like that. Alternatively, you can just add it from your computer. You can add any image you like very easily. So when you're in any one of these views, as you browse the data, it follows the view. So you might go on categories, accessories, and it will show you them all on gallery view if you're on gallery view. The same applies to grid view, and it will show you everything in that view. So you've got a lot of flexibility there. So when you're looking at these products, you can also use filters to filter out the different attribute values to check on your data. For example, if you're looking at TVs, you go on depth, you can see the kind of depth options. So 20, we've just got that one TV there. Or when you go on clothing, the filters will all be about clothing. And if I click on brand, I can see that there's only one piece of clothing without a brand. So I can check that. And I can see that I need to fill that in. I need to sort that out. You can combine these as well. You might be searching for Amazon Essentials brand. That's black. And then you can just combine that. So you can combine as many as you want. So this area is basically the browsing area where you can filter, search products, add a description, and an identifier to bring the list down. So if I put in long sleeve, we'll just filter based on that. You can create sets of attributes which only show what I'd like to search. So you don't need to have the full list, you can just have the things you prefer. So if you just go on logistics, for example, it's got this limited number of relevant attributes. So once you have your products in the PIM, you've also got these filters at the top, which let you filter out things that have been changed. So once you've made the change to a product, the PIM puts it in a kind of draft mode. So then you can check what's been modified and see if you want to publish those changes and then make them live. So these, for example, are all modified, whereas these are published. So you can check these changes because you see that they're modified. So if you click the modified filter on top, it will show you the ones that changes have been made to. So you can check all of these before they get published, and also check the completion as well. Once you've ascertained that, you can publish them and make them go live. You can also control who can modify what through permission settings. Here you can create a team, which could even just be one person, and you give that team permissions as to what they can do. So it gets quite granular. You can get down to individual attributes of what they're allowed to edit and which channels they're allowed to see. You can also create channels, where OneTimePIM allows you to add as many channels as you like and decide which products you want to be visible on each channel. This is really useful if you're selling products in different languages. For example, we've got this Spanish website where you can store all your product information in Spanish. Or if you're selling on different e-commerce sites like Shopify or WooCommerce. So if we changed to the Shopify channel and you go back to products, you can see that there's just 9 products in this channel. And you can see that I've hidden 101 products. So you can use that to update your Shopify website. So you can create channels that have a limited number of products and make those visible to outside users. There's also a lot more to the PIM in terms of importing and exporting. So there are tools to do all the bulk imports of all of your data and images and get them all set up. And you can create tasks. So you just import a file. And then you just map the columns. There's a data validation step, and then you can just schedule that import and start it. There's also export tasks available that you can create. So you just type in the task name. Next. So you can choose to send them all the data, where you could call active products, or you can sort by category, by family, or by individual products to select the exact products you want to export. So you can set up an export with specific attributes on it, and you just select which attributes, and you can also put these in any order, and you can rename them if you like. So you have your email recipient, and then you can schedule this task for whenever you like. So that could be daily, weekly, or monthly, at any time you like, and you just create the task, and that will just run automatically without you having to do anything more. Within the PIM, we've also got a built-in DAM, or digital asset management. So we call it a media manager, and you can add all sorts of product into the manager. You can add images, PDFs, anything that's going to be linked to the product. So if you go on gallery view, we can see that some of these are PDFs, some of them are images. And you can have videos as well if you like. And the PIM's also got this built-in media manager, which lets you resize and reformat images on the fly. You don't need to worry about having small thumbnail images or medium images. You just add the best images you have into the PIM, and the PIM can export or provide those images to your e-commerce sites or any sites you want. So it doesn't matter what size image you put into the PIM, because you can get the image out at whatever size you want. So you could put 3000 pixel images in, but if your specific customer wants them 1200 by 1200, you can just resize and reformat them in the PIM. You can also put PNGs in and get them out as JPEGs, and do all sorts of conversions within the PIM itself. So that's all handled for you. And then there are the connectors. So these can link to e-commerce sites like Magento, WooCommerce, Shopify. So there's a lot of ways of getting the data into the PIM. Through data feeds, API call, sending the file directly into the PIM, making an API call and giving the API the file, some companies use a system called Integramat that you can set up to grab data from another ERP system like SAP, and it can then generate a file and send that through the API into the PIM. But we can talk through these options with you. So what distinguishes us from a lot of companies is that when we start a project, we work with you on a week-by-week basis to get all the data sourced from all your different places, your spreadsheets, wherever you've got the data, and we'll help you import that data into the PIM, set the PIM up, set up the attributes, set up the families, set up the connectors, and we'll keep working with you until you're satisfied that the PIM is doing everything you need. And that's for however long that takes, whether it takes 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 10 weeks. We organise weekly meetings and we work with you to get that data in and making sure you can export the data and get it to all your destinations. So we basically set up a Slack channel for communication and provide these kind of reviews over Zoom, and each company's different, so we'll just do it for as long as it takes. And because it's our PIM and we're providing the assistance and we know it inside out, this process is usually quite fast. Because we know the ins and outs of the system. So that's why we're able to offer companies as much time as they need. So we'll do all the setting up for you and train you to make the most of the features. So that was a quick demo of the PIM system. If you'd like to find out more, you can book a live demo where you can ask questions. You can also organise a free trial. Just fill in your details on the website and we can get that set up for you. So I hope that's useful and looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks.